Um, I was born in Lufkin, Texas. And my father was a molder. He worked in a foundry, he was in his 20s, and was well known in the community because my grandmother was a teacher, and she also worked in social justice. She was well known in that area, and she went to college. I was surprised to find out that she went to college. She went to Prairie View College, she and her sister. But that's because their father was a minister. If you were children of ministers, you had it a little, if you were black, you were a little bit better off. Not much, but there were things, privileges that you got when that happened. And my father could do almost anything in the community. Well, no, got this good job, as they called it. He was in his 20s at a foundry in Lufkin. He trained many of his workers to be his boss. And being the boss, they could tell him what to do, when to do it, where to do it. So what happened is he got angry one day that one of the workers that he trained to be his boss would just come over and pick up his piecework and take it away. You got paid for the work that you did, and you the rest was your overtime. Well, the boss that he trained came over and took his pieces for the last time. My father went berserk on him. You know, he'd been taking it for a long period of time and just couldn't take it anymore. So he beat him. He didn't kill him, otherwise he wouldn't have lived. But they told him that he had to get out of town that day. Well, my grandmother was a teacher and a social justice person, and fortunately my father was a Mason. And that's what you needed to be. If you were black, in almost any part of the South, you had to be a Mason, and then they would stand up for him, but you had to get out of town. So my grandpa, who was part Choctaw Indian, had been to California by freight trains. He knew by freight trains which one was going where. And so he got my father together. My father had a 1940 Ford at that time, and they took off for California. Getting to California must have been pretty simple for them because they were in one piece a year later when he sent for us. He had a job, a place for us to stay, and it was during the time when Henry J. Kaiser was sending trains to the South for black people to come to California, San Francisco, Oakland, and Richmond to build the shipyards during those days. And so my father had his own position as what he was doing before in Texas. So he never did work with those, with them, but they were his friends, and he helped them do other things, building and that sort of thing. Went through that part, went through elementary school, did well in elementary school because my grandmother and her sister were teachers. They taught me at 4 years old to go to school and what to do, and helped during the time in Richmond when they were building the shipyards and all. I helped the teachers. I had groups, small groups, because there's just too many people. Went to Richmond High. Richmond High, my last year of high school, I was a pom-pom girl, the first black pom-pom girl that they had ever had. Got married, had children, went to Mills College. At Mills College, I had a special, the extra money to go for 2 more years. While I was at Mills College, I met Barbara Lee. At that time, she is from this area. She's from West Oakland. And we became friends because we had a friend in common, working with Delos. And we had a good time at Mills College. I mean, because it was something new. You know, they had not had black women before. And the classrooms were just so excited because we were there to talk about our experiences that they read about. And it was an awesome, awesome experience. Won another award at Mills for a paper that I wrote on Black history. It was between W.E. Du Bois and George Washington Carver, and how they agreed to disagree. Let's see. Then I met Dolores Woolfolk. Dolores Woolfolk is a friend, family, and a family member of one of the people you're going to be hearing from. And Dolores was just walking in the neighborhood. It had to be around 1990s when she discovered this building. She and a friend that she walked with in her neighborhood. And they just happened to stop by to see what was going on, because in that time, in the 90s, it was something different for the community to have a Black senior center. So she was asked to start a line dance class here. Well, dancing is what I love, and she knew that. So she invited me to come and help her here. Then another friend who danced was from the Berkeley Center, and he invited me to come and help him. So we just made a little teaching group of the three of us, and we go from here, we leave here, we go to Berkeley, and then once a week we would go out to help the instructor in East Oakland, because they asked would we do that. It was a very wonderful thing that happened while I was going to, what's the school? Mills. Because Barbara Lee and a friend of mine that I went to high school with invited me to go to Egypt to represent the U.S. in way of teaching and cultural aspects. And I only had to pay $750 from here to Egypt for 30 days. For 30 days. Got a chance to meet the Sadats, the young ones, and just how the mark was really accepted. And so this one Moroccan who was there at the bank where we were trying to exchange our money, he was trying to help us change our money, and he said, "Where are you? Are you African or are you African American?" And we said, "We're African Americans." He says, "Welcome, you're home." And boy, I mean, our eyes, we just looked at each other because we'd never been told that before. So Barbara Lee, as you know, is now the senator of, what? Yeah. Yes. But we're still friends, but just so very busy that, you know, we don't know what to do. So I won an award when I first got there. That award was given to me in my first history class. And I thought, boy, this is going to be easy. That's what I said to myself. Not later after I graduated, because I went through a lot, because I didn't have the skills I wanted to have, but I developed them. And they were very, 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 very good to us. I got a trip to the Yucatan area for a month also. All this from knowing good people. I think, I don't know, Idonell Bill is responsible for my getting closer to Barbara Lee after we graduated from school, because, you know, we wave and hi and goodbye, but we don't really get to sit with each other the way we used to do when we were at Mills College. And so, line dancing began here. Some of you were in our classes from time to time. We moved out of the centers into churches, and that was very popular. But line dancing is what put me here at this particular center. Thank you.